against the other 6. I call John Hayes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's been really an effort because this bill has been directed at trying to improve the atmosphere around that member's environment by pricing tobacco off his leader's budget and to thereby reduce the amount of smoke that member has to inhale by association. Because I think he must be impacted by too much cigarette smoke because it is impacting on his ability to think clearly and logically. Mr. Speaker, if the government raises $528 million by increasing the excise tax, which I doubt very much because the whole idea is to drop that amount because we want to stop collecting excise tax on that by cutting out smoking, that money doesn't go into a big black hole, Mr. Williams. That money goes into providing health care for the people who are damaged by smoking. And that evidence, if you were to actually study this issue before you got up into the House and fired off all cliche after cliche after cliche, you would discover that in the 1920s, the connection was begun to be drawn between cigarette smoking and life expectancy. And it was only in the around 1932, that statistical evidence began to be collected on relating smoking and lung cancer. Mr. Speaker, the second error of that person's logic is to assume that increasing the excise tax is always going to go just into the government budget. Not the case at all, because the government has said, OK, we're going to collect more money, we want people to stop smoking, we're going to put $20 million a year into cessation and helping people stop smoking. Mr. Speaker, I think that the policies are working very well. I pick up the point that my colleague, Chair of our committee, Todd McClay, mentioned, which is the really significant drop in young people smoking, from 15.6% of them smoking every day in 1999 down to 4% in 2011. I'd just like to make one point to the House as I conclude my support for this bill, and that is recently I was watching some basketball players down on the bottom of Cobham Drive in the ASB stadium, and I heard the young people calling out to their colleagues who muffed calls in this basketball game. The term of derision was smoker. And it was really fascinating for me to listen to these young people abusing their colleagues using this foul word. Mr. Speaker, I have no hesitation in supporting this bill. As an ex-smoker and sometimes smoker myself, I know how hard it is to give up. But those people in the Labour Party, Mr. Speaker, they know about this business of raising excise taxes, because I can remember one Arnold Nordmeyer who had his famous black budget. The next day, my own father stopped smoking because of that tax grab. Mr. Speaker, this is not a tax grab. This is an inducement to the community to stop smoking by 2025. Thank you.
I call Jacinda Ardern.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my pleasure to rise and speak to the Customs and Excise Tobacco Products